and there's one left to load. That's Pacific Mission.
We got one back here. Still up.
Pacific Mission is in. They're all in line. They're off in the Juvenile Fillies turf. Queen of Hawaii slow out of the gate. Good beginning for Final Accord on the inside, but there goes the Japanese filly Switch in Love to take the lead. Switch in Love will be the pace setter. Celebrity Warrior is away running in second. Brave Deb is third to the outside, moving into the turn. And then toward the inside is Final Accord. Ground support in between horses. Then Ultimate Love, who's racing 5 lengths off the lead and 2 lengths ahead of Imaginationthelady. Then Balantina, a length and a half farther back. Then Time to Dream, who races up on the outside of Infinite Sky as they head to the backstretch. Pacific Mission is second last. Queen of Hawaii is trailing through a 22.33 opening quarter mile. A very quick opening fraction here for Switch in Love, who heads up the backstretch with a 2-length lead. Celebrity Warrior is second by a length and a half. Brave Deb is third to the outside. Final Accord riding that rail through a 45.96 half mile, racing for the far turn. Ground support is outside of horses. Now comes one inside with 4 lengths to make up, and ground support's making a strong middle move as they round the far turn. Ground support coming up on the outside of Celebrity Warrior. They move up alongside of Switch in Love. From the back of the pack, right behind the leaders, here comes Imaginationthelady on the outside, and gaining ground as well as Ultimate Love in behind horses. It is ground support in front with 1 furlong to run. Up the rail, here comes Balantina, and she's charging through, and Pacific Mission is closing too, but it's Balantina who rides the rail to win it. Balantina close for second. It was either Pacific Mission or ground support.
Europe is on the board. Donica O'Brien's Balantina, your winner here, and Medallion Racing heading to the winner's circle again today. Congratulations to them as she storms home along the inside.
That's an extraordinary turn of foot she's shown. And you mentioned beforehand, Christine, about horses quickening up, winning here at Del Mar. She's had to do that today. She was dropped out of the back, I think, by circumstance more than anything else, along with Pacific Mission. They were trailing early part of the race. Queen of Hawaii also slowly out of the gates. But they've made up a lot of ground, and she also had to need a bit of luck, Joe, to get that run.
Yeah, really good ride, too. Coming from the 10-hole, you could see she's on the rail right there. Has to wait a little bit for some run, and it looked like the number 11 ground support, a big long shot at 24-1, it was going to open up, and Wemby, you could see right about here is going to get room, and you guys talked about it, too. That turn of foot here at Del Mar, I think really paid off in the end there. Really good rail skimming ride there.
You had to have a little luck to get through a spot like that, but you also had to have the filly to dive for that spot when it opened up, and she really showed it.
The perfect combination of a filly who had a turn of foot and a jockey in Oisin Murphy who is riding at the very top level anywhere in the world. He's our champion jockey in the UK, and he is absolutely brilliant. He's shown his skills all over the world, including here at the Breeders' Cup in the past, and he's held his nerve by holding that rail position, and he could have waited and gone out wide, taken back, but he waited for the gap, and sometimes you take that chance and it pays off.
Yeah, to your point, Richie, that's not an easy thing to do. The nerves can definitely be big at that point, especially at a big stage like this, but very good ride, and I can't emphasize enough, going from the 10-hole to be able to get to the rail at any point in a turf race is very impressive, and hats off. And that was her first time stretching out today, too, so that's a very big performance there.
Joe, it looked like Oisin Murphy had to sort of idle for a few strides. He was waiting, trying to decide, am I going left, am I going right, am I going to the rail, am I angling out of another runner? But he kind of kept her in his hands the whole time. She was ready, whether he was going to point left, point right, almost push button at that stage.
And I think for being a jockey, as many European horses as I've ridden, they're so fun because I feel like a lot of American-based horses, you can't really idle. I feel like once you take away their momentum on the grass, they can't really quick fire like they do here, but very, very impressive. And again, I think that's why you can be so confident, too, in these races. When you know, even if you're bottled up and you have to take a little bit of a hold, they're still there for you when you do find a spot, and they can quick and quick.
How about the decisive move as we came into the turn for Madame Beschizza on ground support? He really started the flow of the race at that point. He dove between runners with this long shot to give her opportunity.
Yeah, he really did, and I thought she definitely outran her odds at 24-1. This is a really good drone view here.
I'm looking forward to seeing this. But down on the inside, now, Christina mentions about the choices he's got, Joe, whether he could go left or right. Here, he's got to make the decision. He could potentially go to his right and go outside and go further out.
And I think the winning move was about 10 strides before that, when he really had to adjust and move out pretty quickly. If not, he would have gotten stopped very, very badly. But the maneuvering there, that's what I love, this drone view for fans. It is so great to see.
And you could see with Pacific Mission with the 12, and I don't think she was going to catch our winner, but ended up taking that lateral route to the outside, and she's a couple lengths behind.
She has. I thought Colin Keane actually gave her a really good ride. She was a little bit slowly away from the gates, but he took his medicine and he said, I'm going to go down to that inside rail, save ground all the way, and then let her loose in the straight. But she has had to come round the houses, whereas Oisin's gone down the inside rail.
Huge price on top here as Valentina 20-1 in the Juvenile Fillies turf comes home on top here to the tune of $43.20. Pacific Mission a price in second at 14-1, 24-1 third with ground support. The scratch of Precise coming into